Hello there. It's Monday afternoon. I'm back at the park after a 3-day hiatus from making any videos. A couple of things came up over the weekend that I won't go into now, but it involved death. Now, I mentioned before that I have a daughter. She's 5 years old now. Really, since birth, we've been raising her in a mostly English environment, but technically kind of bilingual, as all the television is in Japanese. Um, and my wife speaks Japanese when I'm not there. She started kindergarten about coming up for 3 years ago now, which is an almost entirely Japanese environment. So when she started speaking for real, like you can't shut her up kind of speaking and actually using intelligible words, Japanese was by far her stronger language. Pretty much exclusively she spoke in Japanese. Um, and what's really interesting now, nearly 3 years later, is to compare her progress to some of her classmates who weren't raised in that kind of an environment, but are taking English courses or English lessons. What I find with them is that you can ask them very specific questions. Just simple questions like what's your name or what color is this, things like that, and they will immediately give you a very direct, positive answer using all the correct sentence structure. It's blue, or my name is such and such. But as soon as you start to mix the templates up a bit, move a little bit away from them, you get the deer in the headlights look. They don't know what you're talking about. They're lost. I think that's a very difficult hurdle to overcome when you're learning a new language. With my daughter, on the other hand, she never learned the templates, so moving away from the templates is not something that you can even do. I can, in that same situation, I can ask her, what color is your friend's dad's shirt, and she'll understand the question without any difficulty. Trouble is that she'll answer in Japanese. Kids, I think, do tend to take the path of least resistance in these things. She knows that I can understand Japanese, and so it's easy for her to answer that way. If it's my parents who don't understand Japanese, then she starts to use English. It's very touch and go, because she knows the words, but they don't come to her naturally. So she's a bit like me in that way, I guess. And she has difficulty stringing a sentence together. But on the other hand, we give her Netflix access for certain amounts of time per day, and she can freely choose any of the kids' programs. And a lot of them that she chooses are in English, a lot of them are in Japanese, and she makes no real distinction. She won't favour one over another because of the language that it's in, and the language doesn't affect her ability to understand the show. The only time that it does make a difference is if a show is also being aired on television, because then it tends to default to Japanese, and you have to press a button on the remote control to turn it back into English, and she gets a bit uppity when that happens. Because although she can understand Japanese as well as she can understand English, if a show is in the wrong language, then that's a problem. So that's very interesting to spot. She's starting to make improvements to her spoken English now, because I think she's seen her friends do that, and she's treating it sort of as a game more than anything. And probably one of the biggest breakthroughs was when me and a couple of other dads were asking one of her friends some simple questions in English. Just again, simple like color questions. What color is this? What color is that? And she was getting praised for it, and my daughter had this epiphany. Hey, she's getting praised for something that I can do easily. And so after that, she not only joined in, but she also raised the ante a little bit. So a shirt wasn't just black; it was black and yellow. But it's a fun thing to watch. For the many viewers that have been asking me as I was making this video, what is that in your hand? This is an absolutely incredible drink. It's kind of like a vodka substitute with harsh lemon and soda. When you drink it, it's physically painful to swallow. I think that booze should be like that. If it doesn't hurt your throat to swallow it, then you may as well just be drinking juice. It's called a Takara Highball, lemon, karakuchi, which means it makes your throat hurt. And it's just pure awesomeness in a booze tube. Get yours today, unless you're underage, in which case get your parents to.